Welcome back to Zen Fit Vibes. Wow, only 120 calories? That's not bad at all. Well, not so fast. Because here's the catch. Food companies are masters of illusion. They use sneaky serving sizes, confusing labels, and misleading claims that make their products look healthier than they actually are. And if you're not paying attention, these little tricks can completely ruin your diet without you even realizing it. So today, let's break down some of the biggest food label lies that could be sabotaging your calorie deficit. And I'll show you how to protect yourself. 1. The serving size trap. Let's start with a classic. Imagine picking up a cookie. On the front, the packaging proudly says, only 120 calories per serving. Sounds pretty good, right? Except when you flip it around, you notice a tiny little asterisk. And what does it say? Oh, right. One serving is only 1/4 of a cookie. So the whole cookie isn't 120 calories. It's closer to 480. Who honestly eats a quarter of a cookie and puts the rest away? No one. But that's exactly how labels trick you, by shrinking the serving size until the numbers look smaller and more attractive. 2. The zero-calorie illusion. Now this one is actually hilarious. Take butter sprays. If you look at the bottle, it says 0 calories per serving. But think about it. The whole bottle is literally liquid fat. 1 gram of fat has 9 calories. So a 200 plus gram bottle should be over 1,800 calories. So how is it magically zero? Well, thanks to a loophole in US regulations, if a serving has fewer than 5 calories, manufacturers are allowed to label it as zero. So what do? They shrink the serving size to basically nothing. That's why some sprays list over 1,000 servings per bottle. It's ridiculous but completely legal. So if you're spraying it on everything thinking it's 0 calories, don't be surprised when your fat loss progress mysteriously stalls. 3. The fat-free but sugar bomb trick. Another common scam is the fat-free label. Yes, the product technically has no fat, but guess what they replace it with? Sugar, tons of sugar. So instead of buying a healthy low-fat yogurt, you're basically eating dessert. And the label made you think you were making a smart choice. 4. Buzzword marketing. This one always makes me laugh. You've seen these granola packages, right? They're plastered with words like all natural, non-GMO, made with real ingredients, gluten-free. Sounds healthy, but none of these words actually guarantee the product is good for you. In fact, many of them are just loaded with sugar and unhealthy fats. The phrase made with real ingredients is my favorite. Like, what does that even mean? Isn't everything technically made with real ingredients? It's just marketing designed to fool people who want to feel healthy without really checking the nutrition facts. 5. The protein percentage. Trick protein bars are another culprit. Some brands love to show 25% protein on the front of the wrapper. And if you're not paying attention, you might think, nice, 25 grams of protein. But then you notice the tiny percentage sign, and the bar itself only weighs 40 grams, which means it actually has just 10 grams of protein. Pretty disappointing for something marketed as a protein bar. 6. Cooked versus uncooked confusion. This mistake isn't even the manufacturer's fault. It's how people use tracking apps. Let's take rice. The calories for 200 grams of cooked rice are about 260. But 200 grams of uncooked rice? That's closer to 730. So if you weigh your rice uncooked, but log it as cooked, you're off by almost 500 calories. That's enough to completely wipe out your daily calorie deficit. The same goes for pasta, potatoes, meat, basically anything that changes weight when you cook it. Always check if your app says cooked or uncooked. 7. The oil eyeball disaster. And finally, the most common diet killer. Eyeballing oil. 1 tablespoon of oil has about 120 calories, but when you just drizzle a little into the pan, Do you really think it's only 1 tablespoon? Be honest. Most people end up with 2 or 3 without realizing it, and that's an extra few hundred calories a day. Over time, those little mistakes add up fast. This is why I always recommend using a spoon, or better yet, a kitchen scale. Just being precise with oils and nut butters alone can save you a pound of fat every couple of months. The takeaway. Here's the bottom line. Food companies want their products to look healthier and lower in calories than they actually are. And if you're not careful, their tricks can silently kill your progress. So always read the label. Don't trust the buzzwords on the front of the package. Double check the serving size and weigh your food instead of eyeballing it. It might feel like a hassle at first, but once you get used to it, it becomes second nature. And it can be the difference between losing fat consistently or spinning your wheels for months. And hey, if you really want to take the guesswork out of it, having a structured meal plan can save you a ton of time and frustration. Because once you know exactly what and how much you're eating, you don't fall for these tricks anymore.